Welcome to the first of a three-part series seminar on the common growth and development stages for startup manufacturers. I'm Candace Stewart Finley, the founder and co-owner and managing partner of Results National Sales. My business partner and I, Leah Macadera, who is joining me today on this seminar, felt that it would be important and of value to just briefly outline the different stages, components, because even though we have the list on our website, it's become, pardon me, it's become evident that some people may not know all the terms. So today we're going to be presenting this one, and then there'll be a follow-up on part 2 and part 3, which are the other components of the first 3 growth stages. Leah?
Hi there. I just want to reiterate, as Candace stated earlier, our intention today is to just allow for some form of frame of reference through whatever type of experience you have. We're going to give brief examples of each of these stages, steps, components that might be relevant to your current growth stage. So the intention today is just to expand a little bit more, offer a little bit more insight, and we're excited to be here to do that for you. Candace?
Okay, yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started now. We're going to begin with the why. Clearly define the why of your brand and product. Why does it inspire you? We begin with this one because this is the foundation of for the success of any company. It's not what you make, it's not how you make it, it's why are you making this product? What inspired you? And is your why transferable? Will it inspire others to purchase your product because it's something that they can align themselves with their values? Are your values and their values in alignment? And that's what will inspire sales as opposed to manipulating sales. And if you want to learn more about that concept, there is an article on that in the blog in the Results National Sales Academy. Leah?
So this takes us into the next area that is collaborating with your why, and that moves into the who aligns with your why. And a lot of times this process begins in your kitchen with your family and friends. Maybe you've expanded it to a local farmer's market, a co-op, some small retail chains in your regional territory. And through this process, usually with that early stage direct contact with your folks that are aligned with your why, they're offering you feedback, and they are helping you as a brand and as a product developer understand what works for them and why it works for them and why they're going to continue to be drawn to come back to your product over and over again. So this demographic research is going to expand beyond your territory. It's going to expand on a national level and has potential to expand on an international level. So understanding the research early on and how important this is to growing your company is a really great thing to think about early on. Candace?
Yeah, I agree. Product development. This is, seems pretty obvious. However, it's important to really get your recipes, formulations, your research, and your science behind the research, whether it's a grocery item, a nutritional item, meaning like a whole body, well body kind of product. The development, the science, the features and benefits are all part of this formulation and product development, which again aligns with the why. Leah?
So I want to add just a one thing here in this product development, another critical thing to be looking at in relevance to who your market is, both in your consumer and who you're going to be selling through, whose channel, grocery channel, natural channel, on e-commerce. Um, you want to make sure that those recipes are in alignment with the channel you're serving. So you want to be clear that the ingredients that you're going to include in your recipes are acceptable ingredients. And that leads us into ingredient sourcing. So having a supply chain that might start out small, but with the intention of growing large in the long run, is going to be very critical that it's a sustainable supply chain. And by sustainable, we're talking about volume. Can the farmer produce? How much can they produce? And is that cost of their production and their crop, is that going to fit into your cost of goods? Ultimately, your goal is to reduce your cost of goods by growing your volume of your ingredients that you purchase. Candice?
Yes, very good point. So, product pricing. You will have, there are industry standards, let me put it that way. And where there's a formula already established depending on what channel you are involved in. Each channel has their own pricing system. You have your wholesale, you have your distributor, direct to retail, direct to consumer. There's a whole gamut of pricing structures that you'll need to be aware of. Leah?
And so, in relationship to that topic regarding your product pricing, one really important step in pricing your product is margin. Really is. So, what is it costing you in ingredients and labor, and then your overall operating costs? What's the true margin on that product? So, having different means of doing product margin analysis is your first step in developing your product pricing. Candice?
Yes, it's very important to make sure that you actually have built in some profitability. So, brand and product messaging. It's so vital to establish, and this is where your why comes in again. It'll assist you so much in establishing a clear and consistent brand, product communication messaging for so that your potential customers, your families, the purchasers of your product in the stores will their values will be easily identified by your messaging, and they'll be able to align themselves naturally, organically with your product. Yeah?
And I just want to add on to that and say that it's through the brand product messaging that you will develop loyal customer sales. The sales, it's one thing to get the product into the distributor and then into the retailer and get the promotion set up. But what is going to make the customer come back repeatedly for your product? It's this, it's your message and how you align with their why. So, this is the most important part to getting sales off the shelf. So that leads us into this manufacturing of your product and experiencing growth. So a lot of clients begin as a cottage industry. Starts up sometimes in a kitchen, a garage, moves into maybe an industrial kitchen situation. And at some point, most folks move into a co-packing manufacturing facility. And ultimately, a lot of manufacturers, their goal is to eventually at some point manufacture for themselves. So there are these stages, and in the beginning stages, a lot of times we're moving from the cottage industry level into a co-packing situation. Candice?
Yes, and along and I want to clarify that these action steps aren't in any priority here. This is all part of the first stage. You may already have accomplished some of these, or you may just be getting ready to take into consideration one of these components. Again, they're not necessarily in the specific order because each company may have a different process. And so, therefore, we're just listing them as all being important steps in the first stage. So, labeling it again, this comes back. What's your target channel? Is it the natural products industry, which is our main focus, or is it the conventional grocery, e-commerce? What is your main focus? Because you're labeling not just the regular FDA type, you know, components, but you're going to want to get, if you're the natural channel, you're going to want to get some help on getting USDA approval, just understanding what you can and can't say on your label. And I'm not just talking about the nutritional panel, I mean on your entire label. There are certain words that you can and can't use. It's best to get some legal support to make sure that you properly, and don't find yourself in a bit of a quagmire having to change labels down the road. Leah?
Our next step that we're talking about is establishing both company and product liability insurance. So these are steps that get handled early on. So you're protecting your company with liability insurance. And then in addition to that, every product that you make will fold under an umbrella of product liability insurance. And in the future, as you develop business partners, distributor partnerships, retailer partnerships, some of these business partners will also require that you cover your business with them under your product liability insurance.
I want to piggyback on that and specifically say that this is a key requirement for Whole Foods markets, and just be prepared. If you aren't already prepared for that, just know that that's coming. Determine how the product is unique, improved, and innovative. Again, these are not necessarily in order. This is part of your product development, and this is part of your message, and it's a really key important step to focus on the features and benefits. The features are the main components of the product, and then each of those features has a benefit, and that's what you want to message to your end user, your customers. Leah?
GS1 compliant barcodes. For someone early on, that terminology is really foreign. So let me explain that GS stands for global safety. And global safety 1 compliant barcodes are referring to the UPC code that's going to be on your selling beyond, say, the farmer's market type of realm. So that barcode now has a global standard to it. And so when you are applying for barcodes in the early stages, if you just have one product, you'll be buying a packet of, let's say, 10 barcodes. So this is how the system works. You sign up to be a part of the Global Safety 1 system. And as your company grows and perhaps your product list grows more and more, you will have global safety compliant barcodes for all of your products. And this means that not only will you be able to sell in the United States, as your international scope expands, your barcode will be acceptable across the globe. Candace?
Yes. Trade secrets and intellectual property protection. This is a very important part of your list of things to consider as you grow your company and your business. It's important that you protect your intellectual property. Be sure you set up non-disclosure agreements, an NDA, and before you bring on board brokers or a brand manager or anybody maybe who's just doing some consulting for you, make sure that if you have something that's very key, that's a trade secret for your product, be sure and have an NDA drawn up and signed that will protect you and make sure going forward that your innovation stays um, safe care. Leah?
Yep, I think you covered it. That's a really important step, and secrets and intellectual property, very valuable.
Very valuable. Well, that concludes the first of our three-part seminar. This is the first stage. We'll have part two and part three will also be available is also available on our website under the RNS Academy webinars. If you have any questions about your business or you want more information that's specific to your needs, feel free to reach out to Leah or I at info@resultsnationalsales.com. We'd be happy to assist you and review how we may be of service. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you again for joining us. Again, our hope is that by offering a little more education, and like Candace said, if you're looking for just even a small amount of consulting, you're at the beginning, these early stages. We look forward to creating value for your future decisions. Thanks again.